So what if that $400 putter you just bought to save your golf game is actually, the exact reason you are missing putts?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it is such a common trap.
It really is. It's a scene that plays out in pro shops and, like, golf superstores everywhere. A golfer wanders over to the practice green and just starts grabbing putters off the rack.
Right. Just totally at random.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Maybe they pick one up because it has a sleek matte black finish, or maybe they grab the exact model they saw a tour pro use to win on TV last weekend.
Yeah, the classic tour validation trap.
Right. And they hit like 3 lucky putts in a row on perfectly flat indoor turf, walk right to the register, and genuinely believe they've just, solved all their scoring problems.
It is the ultimate subjective shopping spree. You're judging the surface and completely ignoring the underlying mechanics.
Which is a lot like, well, it's like buying a high-end sniper rifle just because you like the wood finish on the stock, right?
Yeah.
Completely ignoring whether or not the scope is actually zero to your eye or if the grip even fits your hand.
That is a great analogy, actually.
I mean, it might look incredibly cool, but you are not going to hit your target.
No, you're really not. And this is precisely why we are digging into Module 1, Lesson 7 from the Puttalyze system today.
Right, the real science behind it.
Exactly. The mission here for this deep dive is to completely elevate how you understand putter fitting. The goal is to take you out of that subjective guessing game mindset and bring you into a truly objective, science-based process.
So we're breaking down the complex sports science of putting into practical, like really actionable insights. And this applies whether you are a weekend beginner just trying to break 100 or a PGA professional searching for that, final 1% of improvement.
Absolutely. Because the Puttalyze philosophy, it basically completely flips the traditional script.
Yeah, because most golfers walk into a store thinking, oh, I need to find a putter that feels good to me.
Right. But professional fitting always begins with the individual, not the equipment. It starts by analyzing your unique physical characteristics, your visual preferences, and your specific movement patterns. Yeah. Only after we understand those variables do we go and find the exact piece of equipment that actually supports them.
So let's unpack this idea of, the equipment supporting your traits.
Oh.
Because before we get into the hardcore scientific measurements, I think we have to establish why a custom fit is absolutely non-negotiable for serious improvement.
Oh, for sure.
We hear so much about technique and mechanics, but people often treat the putter like it's just this passive tool.
And that is probably the biggest misconception in golf right now. The putter is not just a passive, heavy stick you swing back and forth.
Right.
It actively dictates your biomechanics. I mean, you move the putter, yes, but the putter also influences how you move.
Wait, really? So it's a two-way street.
Exactly. You cannot separate your equipment from your technique.
Yeah.
They form this one integrated performance system.
Meaning, if I pick up a putter that doesn't actually fit my body, let's say, I don't know, the lie angle is way too upright, my body is going to instinctively react to that piece of metal.
Yeah, think about the physics of that upright lie angle for a second. If the putter sits too upright for your natural posture, the heel of the putter digs into the ground and the toe points up in the air.
Right, I've seen that a lot.
And when the toe is up, the club face naturally points to the left, assuming you're a right-handed golfer, of course. So when you look down, your brain instantly recognizes that the face is aiming left of the hole.
So my brain realizes I'm basically aiming into the rough, and it just hits the panic button.
Precisely. Your brain steps in and forces you to make an unconscious, unnatural compensation during the stroke just to try and return that face to a square position at impact.
Wow.
You might subconsciously manipulate your hands or, hold the face open or alter your shoulder plane. You're basically fighting the equipment just to hit the ball straight.
Okay, but let me play devil's advocate for a second here. Humans are incredibly athletic and adaptable, right?
Sure.
If I just practice on the putting green for 3 hours a day, can't I just adapt my technique to whatever putter I happen to own?
I mean, you absolutely can adapt, but adaptation ruins consistency.
Really? How so?
When you force your body to make all these tiny, unconscious compensations to square the face, you are relying heavily on timing.
Ah, right.
You have to perfectly time that hand manipulation every single stroke. And under pressure, or late in a round when you're physically and mentally fatigued, that timing just breaks down.
That makes total sense.
Yeah. The goal of a professional fitting isn't just to create a stroke that looks straight in a mirror on a Tuesday afternoon. The goal is to reduce your need for those compensations entirely.
We want to build a stroke that is natural to our biomechanics,
Mhm.
not one that is fighting against our gear. Okay, so if consistency is the ultimate goal here, how do we actually measure it?
Well, we have to look at the strict sequence of the Puttalyze fitting philosophy.
Let's do it. What's step one?
The scientific progression of Puttalyze always prioritizes the data. They don't just, dump 30 metrics on a screen and guess. The absolute, undeniable first priority in every single fitting is face rotation.
Face rotation. Wait, not face angle.
Nope, face rotation.
Yeah.
You have to stabilize how the face moves before you can optimize where the face points.
I think 99% of golfers would assume face angle at impact is like the most important thing. If the face points at the hole, the ball goes in the hole.
And in a total vacuum, yes, that's true. But the putter face is moving through space. Face rotation describes how quickly that putter face is opening and closing as it moves through the impact area.
Okay.
If your face is rotating incredibly fast, but you just happen to time it perfectly so it's square at the exact millisecond you strike the ball, you might hit a beautiful putt. But your timing window is virtually microscopic.
It's like trying to walk through a wildly swinging door. If that door is slamming back and forth really fast, you might be able to time your sprint perfectly and get through once without getting hit. But if you have to do it, 18 times around, you're going to get smashed eventually.
Yeah, you're going to get hit.
The timing window is just too small to rely on.
And a rapidly rotating putter face is exactly like that swinging door. Tiny fractions of a second in your timing mean one putt finishes 2 degrees open and the next finishes 2 degrees closed.
So how do we fix it?
So the Puttalyze system works to get your face rotation into a stable reference range, generally below 15 degrees per second before they even look at anything else.
Wow.
Narrowing that rotation widens your timing door, which makes consistency much easier to achieve.
Okay, so once we slow down the swinging door, there are 4 more foundational parameters in this sequence, right?
Yeah, so after face rotation, we move to face angle. This is comparing where you aim the putter at address versus where you actually deliver the face at impact.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
What's next?
Next is impact ball speed, then launch angle, and finally, zero skid. You really have to master these 5 before you refine anything else.
Let's pause on those last 3 for a second because I think a lot of people overlook them. Why is impact ball speed so critical to consistency?
Impact ball speed is all about energy transfer. If you hit one putt flush in the center of the face and then the next putt slightly off the toe, the speed the ball leaves the putter will be completely different.
Even if my stroke speed was exactly the same.
Exactly. Even with an identical stroke. If your energy transfer isn't consistent, your distance control is going to be basically non-existent. You'll constantly be leaving putts short or just blowing them past the hole.
Which naturally leads right into launch angle and zero skid.
Yeah.
I want to dive deep into skid because I don't think the average golfer even realizes a golf ball skids on a green.
A lot of them don't.
What is actually happening there?
Well, when a golf ball rests on a green, its weight settles it slightly down into the grass. It creates this tiny little depression. When you strike the ball, you need an optimal launch angle, usually just a couple of degrees, to lift the ball out of its own depression.
Okay, so you're actually popping it up slightly.
Just slightly, because if you launch it too low, it gets driven into the turf and bounces. But if you launch it too high, it hops into the air.
And when it lands from that hop, it's not rolling smoothly at all.
No, it's skidding. Skid happens when the ball slides or bounces across the grass before the friction finally catches and it starts rolling end over end.
And why is that bad?
The problem with skid is that friction is unpredictable. A ball might skid for 10 inches on one putt and then 20 inches on the next, depending on the grass plates.
Oh, wow.
When a ball is skidding, it's losing energy unpredictably. So zero skid means getting the ball into a pure, true end-over-end roll as quickly as physically possible.
Because true roll is predictable. If it's rolling, we can control the distance. If it's skidding, we are literally just hoping the friction is the same as the last putt.
Exactly. You're just guessing at that point.
Okay, that perfectly frames the scientific sequence. So how do these measurements translate to the physical design of the putters you actually see on the rack?
Well, every physical characteristic of a putter head affects that sequence. Let's look at blades versus mallets, for instance. Blades are narrow, mallets are, deeper from front to back.
Right.
Because mallets are deeper, engineers can push the mass away from the center of the face, moving it out to the perimeter. This increases the putter's moment of inertia, or MOI.
MOI being the putter's resistance to twisting when you hit the ball off the toe or the heel, right?
Exactly.
Right.
Higher MOI means if you mishit the ball, the face won't twist as much, which keeps your impact ball speed more consistent.
So you might just assume a mallet is automatically better for consistency across the board.
You might, but for some golfers, the massive visual footprint and all those extended alignment lines on a mallet create total sensory overload.
Oh, interesting.
It confuses their brain, which
Sure.
completely messes up their face angle alignment.
So a blade putter, even with lower MOI, might actually offer someone better spatial awareness of the club face, leading to a more natural face rotation.
Exactly right. Neither design is inherently superior. It entirely depends on what produces the most repeatable performance for your specific visual and physical traits.
Okay, so let's tackle the age-old debate about how the putter hangs. Toe hang versus face-balanced putters.
Oh boy, yeah.
The classic advice you hear from everybody on the course is that face-balanced putters are only for golfers who swing straight back and straight through, and toe hang putters are for golfers who swing on an arc.
Yeah, and the Puttalyze philosophy completely tears that myth apart.
Really?
The reality is, no putting stroke is perfectly straight in three-dimensional space.
Right.
Think about your posture. You are standing to the side of the golf ball, bending over. The club sits at an angle.
True.
Because of your biomechanics and the lie angle of the club, every single stroke naturally creates some degree of an arc.
So trying to force a perfectly straight back and through stroke is actually fighting your body's natural geometry.
Exactly. You should never pick a face-balanced putter just because a marketing sticker says it's for a quote-unquote straight stroke.
Right, that makes sense.
You choose a face-balanced putter or a toe-hang putter strictly if the objective data proves that it improves your face rotation and stabilizes your swinging door.
Now, we spent a lot of time on the heavy piece of metal at the bottom of the club, but all of that head tech and face balancing is completely neutralized if the putter doesn't physically reach your hands in a natural posture. Which brings us to length.
Oh, length is huge.
Most putters are sold at 34 or 35 inches. How much does a single inch actually impact the biomechanics?
Putter length is arguably the most influential variable in the entire fitting process. Length dictates your posture, your shoulder plane, and your eye position.
Just 1 inch.
If your putter is even 1 inch too short, it forces you to bend forward excessively from the hips.
And as soon as I bend forward too much, my eyes get pushed out way past the target line.
Right, and your visual perception of the target line becomes totally distorted. Not only that, but excessive forward bend creates tension in your lower back, your shoulders, and your arms.
Yeah, I can feel that.
It completely restricts how your shoulders are able to rock back and forth. When your shoulders lock up from tension, your smally muscles take over, and your stroke becomes incredibly handsy and manipulated.
Which ruins consistency.
Exactly. The equipment has to allow you to stand in a relaxed, athletic posture. You should never contort yourself to fit the shaft of the putter.
Given how interconnected length, head design, MOI, and balance all are, it seems really easy for a golfer or even a coach to make some massive fitting errors if they're just guessing out there.
It is incredibly easy to make errors when relying on subjective feel. I mean, feel is important for confidence, yes, but feel can easily lie to you.
Right.
We talked earlier about that golfer hitting 3 lucky putts on indoor turf. That's just the honeymoon phase.
It feels great because it's new, not because it actually fits.
Exactly. Professional fitting requires evaluating a large sample of putts using objective data, not feelings. Specifically, the Puttalyze system looks really closely at range and standard deviation to define consistency.
Okay, so for someone who might not love statistics, range is simply the gap between your highest and lowest values.
Right.
A smaller range means tighter consistency.
Yes.
And standard deviation describes how closely all your individual putts cluster around your average.
Right. And a lot of golfers fit themselves based purely on an average, but an average is incredibly deceptive.
How so?
Let's use target shooting as an analogy. If you take aim at a bullseye and fire one shot 5 feet to the left and your next shot 5 feet to the right, your mathematical average is a perfect dead center bullseye.
But my variance is a complete disaster. I'm just spraying it everywhere.
You aren't consistent at all.
Oh, yeah.
And that is precisely why you cannot fit a putter based on a single good putt, or even a decent average.
It's about the grouping.
Smaller variation is infinitely more valuable than a better average. If we tweak your putter's length and your variance shrinks so all your putts cluster tightly together, That is a successful fitting change.
So what are some of the other common traps people fall into when they try to, like, self-fit at a big box store?
Oh, changing multiple variables at the exact same time is a huge pitfall.
Oh, I've done that.
Yeah, if you change the putter's length, add 3 degrees of loft, bend the lie angle flat, and put on a jumbo grip all at once, you have absolutely no idea which adjustment improved your performance.
Or which one actually made it worse?
Exactly. Professional fitting isolates one variable at a time. Another major error is ignoring the green speeds you normally play on.
Oh, right. Because a heavy putter that performs beautifully on a slow municipal practice green is going to feel like an absolute sledgehammer on lightning-fast tournament greens.
Your distance control will just vanish. You have to fit the equipment to the environment as well as the athlete.
Okay, let's bring this all into the hitting bay. If a listener wants to go get a professional fitting tomorrow, what should the actual step-by-step process look like to ensure it's done correctly?
So step 1 is always evaluating the golfer before the putter. We look at your posture, your natural eye position, and your baseline stroke pattern.
Body first, got it.
Step 2 is analyzing face rotation, making sure that swinging door is stabilized within that 15-degree reference range we talked about.
Right.
Then step 3 compares your face angle at address versus impact to identify any visual aiming illusions.
Okay, so once we have the body and the alignment sorted, then we finally move to the gear.
Right. Step 4 is selecting the broad head design. So, blade versus mallet, finding the right MOI and balance.
Nice.
Step 5 is optimizing the physical specs, length, lie angle, and grip size. And then finally, step 6 is confirming the impact conditions.
Let's focus on those impact conditions for a second, specifically loft, because this concept completely changes how you view a golf club. I'm looking at the difference here between static loft and dynamic loft.
Yeah, this is a big one.
And this seems to imply that the number printed on the putter doesn't actually matter when the club hits the ball. Am I reading that right?
You're reading it perfectly. Static loft is the loft that is engineered into the putter head in the factory.
Okay.
If you buy a putter with 3 degrees of loft, that is, it's static loft. But dynamic loft is the loft you actually deliver to the golf ball at the exact moment of impact.
So if my natural stroke incorporates a huge forward press, where my hands are pushed like 3 inches toward the target, I am effectively turning a 3-degree putter into a 0-degree putter when it strikes the ball.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Your shaft angle, your attack angle, and your ball position all combine to create the dynamic loft.
Wow.
Static loft belongs to the factory. Dynamic loft is what you and the putter create together.
So let's say I'm in the bay testing a new putter. My data shows the ball is launching too high, hopping in the air, and skidding wildly off the face. Shouldn't the fitter just, like, immediately put that putter in a loft machine and bend it stronger until the ball stops hopping?
Absolutely not. And this is one of the most vital lessons of the entire Puttalyze philosophy. If you just bend the putter to fix the skid, you are treating the symptom, not the root cause.
Really?
Yeah. Adjusting the static loft before you have stabilized the golfer's delivery, meaning their shaft angle and their attack angle, is a massive mistake.
Oh, because if my delivery is totally chaotic, one putt might hop in the air, but the next putt with a different hand position might get driven straight into the turf.
Exactly. If you deliver the putter inconsistently, changing the static loft won't solve anything. You never adjust the result before understanding the movement that created it.
Yeah, it's profound.
The delivery must become repeatable before you make final loft adjustments.
It's treating the disease, not just masking the cough. Which brings us perfectly to our summary and key lessons for this deep dive. When we combine the physics, the equipment specs, and this whole coaching philosophy, what is the ultimate takeaway?
If you take absolutely nothing else away from the Puttalyze system, remember this fundamental rule.
Right.
Repeatability must always come before optimization.
Reputability before optimization.
Yes. The best putter in the world is not the one with the most space-age technology, and it's not the one the Masters champion is holding. The best putter is the one that allows you, with your specific biomechanics, to reproduce suitable impact conditions over and over again.
The ultimate goal is matching the equipment to the golfer, not forcing the golfer to contort themselves to fit the equipment. It's really about honoring your natural mechanics.
And when the equipment truly supports your natural movement, those unnecessary, unconscious compensations simply disappear.
Right.
You stop manipulating the club face, your timing window widens, and you start seeing predictable, repeatable performance, especially when the pressure is on.
So the next time you step onto the practice green, I want you to look down and think about the putter currently sitting in your bag. Ask yourself honestly, Is your stroke a product of your natural biomechanics, or is it a product of years spent unconsciously fighting your equipment?
It's a great question.
And take it a step further. If this body-first fitting philosophy can completely revolutionize how you roll the rock, what would happen if you applied this exact same logic to your driver or your wedges? Would your entire bag have to change? If you found today's episode valuable, please subscribe to our channel. Every subscription helps us continue producing evidence-based golf education for golfers and coaches around the world.
If you have a golf question, topic idea, or challenge you would like us to research, test, or explain, please leave a comment, contact us on LinkedIn, or send us an email.
If you're ready to improve your putting performance, join our 30-day Puttalyze Green Reading and Putting Certification course, where you'll learn green reading, speed and distance control, setup, alignment, aim, stroke mechanics, and a proven system for reading greens with greater confidence and consistency.